Well, you know it, right?
Okay.
Because something showed up very interesting during the past 24 hours. Something showed up right there. You on it?
Yes, I'm right there.
Okay.
Okay, so we're back together now. Yes, good
Right. This is not a
afternoon.
satellite photograph. This is not the satellite. This is just the map of the wide Atlantic, the area of interest. It comes up with a yellow X or orange X or red X. Just the home page. Soon as you go on www or just put nhc.noaa.gov. Let's see. Okay, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Uh, okay, yes, I can live on that one. I can live on that one. Okay, right. So that's a graphical tropical weather outlook, and you see where the X marks the spot. That is just to the southeast of Barbados. Let's get that
Barbados.
off. Right. So let's have our introduction, and I go to that, and wider outing from Africa right down. This is a good shot that we really want to have every day. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a good shot that will show
So
us.
good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's good to have you again this afternoon. It has been working well for us, getting the information out. There are persons who log in diligently. There's few others who are just curious, clicking through. And but today was a normal day, so to
Normal
speak.
day.
Nothing much to worry about, but um, I let the expert speak to that.
Well, good afternoon to you, my brother. Good afternoon to our viewership this afternoon. Definitely, we had a little bit more, well, how less did I say it? Well, we had less activity today. It's not to say that the clouds did not form, but the clouds did not form over land. What happened today was that we had a little bit more wind flow. The models were suggesting that we were going to be in the doldrums of less winds for the next 36 to 48 hours. And that would have allowed those clouds that developed yesterday to return overland. But what happened was that we had a little bit more of the wind flow. So those clouds got pushed off the land and they developed over the open waters off coast of St. John's. And when they developed over there, they rained out over there. So over land today, because of the winds, we had clearer skies and less rainfall activity. And that's the reason why we did not have the drenching rainfall, albeit that the computer models forecasted that we would have seen a drench today also, but that did not necessarily materialize because of the winds, but the instability generally was there, and some of the clouds formed, but over the ocean, that is.
Take off the phone inside. Yes, that's good news. That's good news.
Well, good news in the context of if there was organized developed into a tropical system, it would not necessarily impact us. But it would not have been the better news because many people would have looked forward to the drenching type rainfall a little bit more widespread on Antigua. That would have been the hope. But it did not materialize that way because of the stronger force of the wind pushing it off coast. But albeit, let's see what the next 24 hours brings, and we are likely to see. I'm actually trying to get to our forecast for today that was written I think by let's be one of our forecasters. I'm trying to see if I can get that up right now. Okay, that is, I do not have that. Just give me one moment. Let me see if I can just take a quick look at that and to see exactly where we are with that. Okay, I'm still having a bit of problem right here. Okay, so we are having a bit of issue right there. So let me just switch to another source, and that should give us. Okay, I'm not getting it right now. I'm not getting onto our website, which is the Antigua, the official Antigua Met site. But suffice it to say, are you hearing me okay, my brother?
Yes, I am. I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Okay, great stuff, great stuff. Okay, so the forecast, I was hoping to try to see if I could have gotten on to our website today so that it could have locked me in so I could know exactly what the weather forecast is for tomorrow, but I'm not getting it right now. But notwithstanding, with the troughiness moving out and a little bit more wind flow that's coming in, we're likely to see maybe less rainfall because of the fact that the atmosphere will be a little bit more susceptible. Okay, yes, right there, right there. But okay, you're getting it. I'm not necessarily getting. I'm not too sure what has happened. Okay, so in terms of the outlook, I'm not reading it too well there, Betty. Can you help me by reading what it says? Yeah, for some reason I'm not seeing a very active. Oh, well, I think it's a tropical wave in the eastern tropical Atlantic or the.
Yes,
Yeah, go ahead.
yes, tropical wave in the Caribbean tonight, but most of the unsettled weather associated with this wave will
Yes.
confirm to the will be confined to the islands of the area. However, mid to upper level lifting could cause few showers to materialize. Meanwhile,
Okay.
a slack
Okay. So
pressure gradient, yes,
Okay, and the pressure gradient continues to generate a very gentle breeze across the area. So the wind speed is not necessarily going to be a major factor, but what the forecaster had gone in for that the mid-level conditions are expected to be a little bit more favorable. Now, what that necessarily means is that if there is something that comes underneath that and triggers it, then they can find some enhancement in the mid to upper levels. Now, that is what is being forecast. So we're going to see exactly, but again, tonight is only what? Partly cloudy with a moderate chance of showers tonight. Yeah, and going on into tomorrow, the very same thing, or low chance of showers for tomorrow. So it's not necessarily going to be a drencher, but we might have one or two sprinkles here and there. But you know, something popped up on the screen the last 24 hours. And if you could take me to the tropical Atlantic shot. So let's talk a little bit more about the tropical Atlantic right now in terms of tropical cyclone activity. The tropical Atlantic Ocean east of the islands is what we normally pay attention to with respect to any tropical systems that are likely to impact us. Well, during the past 24 hours, that wave that we have been speaking about has generated a little bit more cloudiness, showers, and thunderstorms over the southeastern Caribbean, which means to say that just south of Barbados, that wave spawned a little bit more clouds last night and going on into today. The National Hurricane Center last night suggested that we could see a little bit of development, albeit it will be slight, but it's nothing to write home about, but it's rather interesting to note that the Atlantic Ocean just east of the islands have already been signaled and flagged for some tropical cyclone activity. We do not forecast any development from it. The National Hurricane Center has said that it will not meet favorable conditions, so we are not anticipating any tropical cyclone from this area. So those of you who would have been on the Hurricane Center site and would have seen that area marked in X with a yellow on it. I can tell you that the upper level conditions are not right for it to develop, and we are not forecasting any significant development from this spot. The tropical Atlantic Ocean way out to Africa continues to be rather quiet, and there you go. There you go. You see it marks tropical storm, cyclone 1 on area of disturbed weather 1, or yeah. We are looking at that area just south of Barbados with some clouds moving in onto those islands. Yeah, this area right now, you see it says 0%. That 0% is where the X is, just south of Barbados. And all of that is suggesting to us that it will not meet favorable conditions, and we're not looking for anything. It has a 0 chance of developing. So you can rest your heart at ease with
Good
this
news.
area.
Certainly good news.
Yeah. All right. And the other areas way out to Africa continues to be rather quiet at this time. So it really not, we're not looking at too much of development at this time, but it's interesting to note that, yes, and that's the wider Atlantic. There are no spots for us to really write home about, so it remains rather quiet at this time. Let's talk about one of the areas of preparedness that we told you about yesterday. Remember that we spoke about having a plan. We're going to close by looking at another area of preparedness. Remember that this is at the time where people have a lot of smartphones. One of the things that you have to be bearing in mind is where you get your source of information from. Absolutely. Everybody's going to have some bit of information to say. And especially those individuals who are thrill seekers, you'll find them spreading the rumors about something developing out there, something here, something there. Remember that one of the areas of preparedness is to listen to trusted weather source. Your trusted weather source will give you the most accurate information and the information that you will need for your planning. Remember, those individuals, don't listen to rumors. Don't listen to rumors. In this context, the Antigua and Barbuda Meteorological Service is the area is the trusted source for your weather information for Antigua and Barbuda and the rest of the leewards. And those individuals who would want to pay attention to the National Hurricane Center outside of this area, then they can do so. But remember, don't listen to rumors, but listen to the bona fide weather information put out from trusted weather source.
One of the things I've noticed in recent years following the hurricane season is that whenever there's a storm in the area, there are persons with lots of photograph and lots of update. Where they get them, I don't know if they're locally generated or a person set out themselves to play meteorologists, but these things just float around and yes, people bombard you. Now when you call the office, the yes, news is completely different. So,
and that's why I said that the trusted weather source is the Met Office in this context. Remember that many people track these things too. And you have what we call bush meteorologists showing up themselves. If I may call them that, but no disrespect at all. But they have individuals who love to follow and track these things. And in tracking these things, some of the excitement would tend to be conveyed, not necessarily the right information, but certain information to hype. So you have to be very careful who you're listening to and make sure that the information that you get is the information for your planning and it's coming from a trusted weather source.
Well, that's very key. That's very key. Sometimes you get alarmed when you see the footages, yes, purported footages that's coming from the storm, and sometimes it gets you down and you wonder why so much destruction, only to find out that it was from a storm that had passed 5 years ago.
Yes,
so as you rightly said, we need to trust but verify, and we have to verify the sources.
That's right.
Right,
That's
the source
right,
of where our information
that's
is
right,
coming
I love
from.
that. I love that point you're raising right there. And it's okay for you to get information, as I said, but make sure that it's coming from a trusted source. If you get information, I love that point you raised, and let me reiterate that point. Verify the information that you have received.
Apart from the Antigua Meteorological Services and the National Hurricane Center, are there any other areas that you could point us to where we can get trusted information?
Well, let's say it this way. The World Meteorological Organization has mandated the National the National Weather Service, or the National Hurricane Center, as being the source for tracking hurricanes. So in terms of the foundational information, there's no place else to go but the National Hurricane Center for our information concerning the formation of tropical weather systems and their tracking. When those information the National Hurricane Center puts out advisories on these storms that they're tracking, they normally say that remember to refer to your local weather service for added information in your local context. So I'm going to refrain from suggesting that any other individual outside of the National Weather Service of Antigua and Barbuda with respect to watches or warnings are going to be a trusted weather source. So not even me in my local capacity or in my normal capacity as I'm doing here. You would find me referring to what we are saying out of the Met Office and also from the National Hurricane Center. That is the official context that I need to put it in, and that's the context that I will remain in.
I'm happy that you said that this afternoon, because sometimes you could watch the Weather Channel and other source, but they're not dealing with our local, local, and so the information is generalized. When we get it from our National Meteorological Service, we get something more specific for our geographic area.
That's correct. That's correct. And you can do that. You can follow us. You can give us a call, and we will refer you to the to information that we put out, where to find that, etc. And that is how it is done. Because what happens is that because you would know that you can have so many trusted weather sources or so many sources, and they would give you information. But in giving you that information, you want to make sure that it's coming from a source that can be trusted in our local context. Here in Antigua is the Antigua and Barbuda Meteorological Service.
So for our next programming, we're gonna have to get those numbers, those email information that we can share with the public. Here is where you need to go if you need credible information. I want to thank you again this afternoon for coming on and for giving the up-to-date information to all those who are locked in and following our weather update.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Thank you so much. Have a great one. Okay, bye-bye. Okay.